The crypto world is no stranger to controversy. In fact, you might say that controversy is part of the brand. But some stunts can go too far, and with the recent passing of Queen Elizabeth, there are a few groups in the crypto space who have really crossed a line. In this video, we're going to take a look at a recent trend in the crypto world that is, at best, in really bad taste. You might not believe that someone could be ghoulish enough to make meme coins about the Queen, but that's exactly what's been happening. As reported by the Cointelegraph, the trading exchanges have seen a rise in coins that are memeing on the Queen. Some of them include Queen Elizabeth Inu, Save the Queen, London Bridge is down, and of course, Queen Doge. Why is this happening? Well, for starters, the software to make cryptocurrencies is open source, so anyone can make a coin. These aren't even the first meme coins, with Dogecoin being the patron saint of making coins for the lulz. But there is a time and a place for jokes, and the death of a person is the wrong time. You're free to have an opinion on Queen Elizabeth and the things she did or didn't do. Even in Britain, there are monarchists and anti-monarchists who have had hard disagreements about the role of the royal family in the lives of current Brits. And of course, many of Britain's former colonies tend not to have a good opinion of the Queen. But at a time like this, it's important to remember that she was a human being, and so are we. We should show some level of respect for anyone who has died, unless they were like Hitler or something, especially when the wound of her death is still raw for the people who cared about them. Making jokes and trolling is in bad taste, and the creators of these coins should have known better. Now, all that being said, we are morbidly curious about one thing. Are people, like, buying these coins? Turns out they are. Queen Elizabeth Inu in particular saw a spike of 28,500%. To the moon indeed, apparently. There are lots of reactions to this development online. Some people say that it's bad luck to make a profit off of coins like these. And less superstitious people pointed out that the people buying into these coins were sullying the image of the crypto community. We're definitely inclined to agree with the latter opinion, and it's not like the crypto world needs more bad press. One theory that's making the rounds is that the coins were created before the Queen's death to capitalize on the moment. It makes a depressing amount of sense. While obviously no one could have known that the Queen was about to pass away, the royal family handled her health crisis in a very similar fashion to the way they handled Prince Philip's. When Liz Truss was sworn in as Prime Minister at Balmoral Castle instead of Buckingham Palace, that's the closest we ever got to an early warning. The royal family is famously a stickler for tradition, and there's no way the Queen wouldn't have pushed the swearing in till later if she thought it was doable. If you were coming up with a scheme to profit off her death, that would have been the time to put the plan into action. We further have to tell you that it hasn't stopped at meme coins. That's right, the ghoulish has gone even further, into the NFT side of town. An online NFT marketplace turned up just hours after the news broke, and it's called RIP Queen Elizabeth. There are 520 NFTs in the collection. We can't imagine that the community was able to produce 520 NFTs just hours after learning of the Queen's death, so this could have been planned too. If you're looking for where the crypto community has drawn the line in their grossness, none of these NFTs portray the Queen as a monkey, so that's something, we guess. In general, the idea of people using the death of a person to play the crypto market is just awful. While there are lots of people with different mindsets in the crypto community, a movement like this does reflect badly on the community as a whole. And while some prominent influencers in the crypto space have called these people out, the community doesn't seem to have rejected this trend in the way it should have. One theory is that you have to be pretty cynical and jaded to succeed in the crypto community, especially in 2022. Even if you don't hate the Queen, there's a game to be won here. The crypto world is more ruthless and cutthroat than it's ever been before, and you can't win if you flinch from controversy. Let's say that the intention here wasn't to be crude. There's another reason why someone would try this. In case you've forgotten all the headlines from the beginning of the summer, the crypto market crashed really hard back in May. Crypto investors saw their savings and value wiped out within days. It was the clearest signal to people invested in cryptocurrency that this stuff is just too volatile to bank on. on. That crash was caused by the onset of inflation crises in countries all over the world, which made people ditch their riskiest investments. The straw that broke the camel's back at the time was the failure of the coins Terra and Luna, but the crash would have happened without them. That was months ago when the crypto market has failed to recover. Could memeing the Queen's death have been an attempt to jolt the crypto market back to life? Some say that all press is good press, and this could have been an attempt to get cryptocurrency back into the news cycle so values start to rise again. It's kind of like one of those pump and dump schemes, except this one is supposed to pump the entire market. If that really was the reason why these coins were created, we hope those people realize now that this was never going to work. The crypto market is kinda doomed until people have enough disposable income to invest in things like crypto again, and even then, it might not recover. In other news, while they aren't making memes of the Queen, many countries are considering dissociating from the monarchy. As a side effect of centuries of colonial rule, the Queen of England was actually the head of state for many countries, or at least had significant positions in their government on paper. In practice, the Queen didn't involve herself in British politics, and she definitely stayed out of the politics of other countries for most of her life. The list of countries where the Queen of England was technically their queen is longer than you might think. It's commonly known that she was head of state in Canada, but other countries include Australia, New Zealand, Belize, Jamaica, Tuvalu, Papua New Guinea, and the Solomon Islands. When the Queen passed, the rule of those countries automatically switched to King Charles III. But the end of Queen Elizabeth's 7-decade reign has created an opportunity for countries to move past the monarchy. In all the countries we mentioned, there's popular support for turning into a full republic and removing the monarchy from the constitution. Political parties are calling for it too. We don't see King Charles resisting too hard. He doesn't seem like that kind of guy. Up next, another death knell is sounding for cryptocurrencies. One of the biggest appeals of crypto was the lack of regulation. In the wild west of the blockchain, there are great fortunes to be lost, but also great fortunes to be won. Nothing would kill the vibe of crypto quite as hard as government regulation, but it's looking like those are on the way. Governments across the world started to rethink their laissez-faire approach to crypto when the market began to crash in May. They are, after all, supposed to protect their people from losing their money like this. The US Treasury Department has led the charge tackling the market with regulation, taking a big step in sanctioning Tornado Cash. How much will people still care about crypto if governments take control of it? One way or another, we'll find out. Finally, some updates on events after the Queen's death. The Queen's funeral has been scheduled for the 19th of September. It'll be held, according to some really old and comprehensive planning, at Westminster Abbey. Her coffin was initially brought from Balmoral Castle to Holyrood House in Edinburgh, and was then transported to St. Giles Cathedral. In the coming days, it'll be transported by rail or air to Buckingham Palace, where the Queen will lie in state for the public to visit. After a somber couple of days, King Charles III finally addressed the Parliament. The speakers of the Commons and the Lords had a chance to offer their condolences to the King, and Charles highlighted the role of Parliament in British governance. As you'd expect, he swore to follow the example of his mom in selflessly serving the country. This was all in addition, of course, to praising the Queen for setting an example for all rulers to follow. That's it for today's video. What do you think of these meme coins? Do you think the Queen's public status made her fair game for being joked about like this, or do you agree that it was in bad taste? Let us know in the comments section below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.